What is up, my divers? It is your boy, Reef Diver here, and on the table today, we have two Jazwares remote control vehicles. One for the land, and one for the skies. They do not have a boat yet, but as I assure you, with the release of Chapter 2, Season 1 in the game, it will probably happen, but you know, not everyone has access to water. So, anyways, we are going to review this stuff. I'm going to review it so, you know everything about this stuff. I did get some other Jazwares stuff for Christmas. This stuff was basically from Christmas or around the time of the holidays. So, it's cool. I got other stuff. I'm not going to review it, though, because I thought that I could do something unique that I haven't seen anything done with these toys before. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just dive right in. And we're going to start with a simpler and cheaper toy, the ATK, the remote control, all-terrain cart. And then I'm going to get to the Cloudstrike drone. So the Cloudstrike drone is fairly recent, or more recent compared to that. So if you just want to see the drone in action and me talking about it, just skip to the timestamp on the screen. Can't click it because I'm lazy, but just scroll the bar across and skip to that. So, we're going to start with both the overviews, and then we're going to take them out for spins. So, here is the cart. Well, here, first off, so I'll get to the figure, and then I'll explain. So, it comes with the stop axe. It's a nice little pickaxe. Doesn't come with the wood pieces. Those are mine. I just decided to prop them. So, no mats. Neither of these comes with wooden pieces. So, just ignore that. So, this really accessory is only just the axe. So, I'll remove that. And then you have the Drift Stage 1 figure. I do not have the other Drift figure to compare it with. There's another Jazwares Drift figure. It's the full stage Drift. I do not have that one, but I do have Drift in the game Fortnite. I bought the Season 5 Battle Pass, Stage 1 and Stage 5. The Drift is a very loose figure, and by that I mean he moves around really, really well, and he is sensitive to movement, so there won't be any troubling trying to get him to move. So yeah, he moves fairly easy. He's not like a stiff figure. He's not as bulky. That might have something to do with it. So, you got leg rotation, waist. He's a really good figure if you're just willing to get a figure if you just want to wiggle him around and stuff. So, I guess you try to make him do an emo or something. I don't know. So, anyways, yeah. So, I do have Drift in game. This is a pretty nice figure. It makes sense. They both came out at the same time. So, now we're going to get to the cart. And it comes with a remote controller, goes up, down, left, right, or that was the other way around. But you know what I mean. We'll get into that later. So here is the cart. Both of these things, though, I have tested them out plenty of times. They both have slight damage. So I will explain that to you right now for this. So the problem with this is that it came with this little tomato head and Durburger little dice thing that, goes up at the top, and it popped off. It's really fragile, but, there's a nice overview of that. So, it also comes with a little carrying case for pickaxes that you can store in the back. It's fine. It works, but I'm not a huge fan of it. It's more just whatever. And yeah, so you can put 4 figures on this thing, and I don't really recommend putting more than 1 on it because there's pegs at the feet right there, and then there's pegs in the back so the figures can stand on the back and one can sit in the front next to the driver. You don't really need any figures to go on there. Oh look, the wheel spins, that's nice. So you don't need any figures to go on this. I think the only one that sticks really well on is the driver. So because I put all 4 figures on it, because I have 4 figures, I put them on it, and all of them fell off except for the one in the driver's seat. So what you want to do is you want to peg his foot inward in the peg so, he stays in. And he's really the only one that stays in. That peg is really the only strongest one. So we'll talk more about that when we get to him. And now we will do the overview of the Cloudstrike drone. It's really new. It's really cool. That is $40 base price. It probably has gone down. This is $100 base price. Also probably has gone down because $100 is a lot of money and some people don't like paying that much. So I think on Amazon it's like 80. There's the purple glow skull trooper. I do not have him because in the game. I do not have this character in the game because the only way to get him is if you originally bought the skull trooper when he first came out, and I didn't. So, you know, he's a little bit more stiff. He's not super bulky, so it's not that big of a problem. His head doesn't really move up or down. I don't know if that's just mine or not. It might just be this variation of Skull Trooper because there are 2 more Skull Trooper figures. I don't have either of them. So, you know, he's a nice figure. He's definitely probably a rare one because you can only get the purple glow in the drone set. But I do not have any other Skull Trooper, so he's the first one for me. You know, he's not as loose as the Drift, but probably not as stiff as a really bulky figure like Ragnarok or Black Knight or something. So, you know, there's him. So, basically, I mentioned how both have damage. Essentially, the problem with this is that the top popped off when I was flying it on a grass. It was getting too far out of control. So, on the control stick, I had to click emergency stop right there. And it landed, and this thing just popped right off. So, I do intend on fixing it, but for now, there's the insides. Oh, it looks so cool. I do intend on it, but for now, it serves me a different purpose, so, you know, I just won't fix it. I'll get to that later. So, here, we have little propellers. This set also comes with, like, a screwdriver, a charger for the drone. The drone charges the ATK, takes batteries. So this thing actually charges, comes with a few extra propellers, and a big instruction booklet. The other thing does too, but this one is like super detailed. And yeah, this is really all he really got. You can put a figure on, like right here. If you're gonna fly it super duper high in an area where if your figure came off and you can't find him, well then I would not recommend having him like this. But I have messed with it with a figure on it before, and he did come off the second time I did it. So, you know, that is a high possibility. All it takes is just a little bit of wiggling and he pops off. The unique thing I wanted to do with these was put a GoPro on them and have them move around while the GoPro is hooked onto them. So, for the ATK, it's simple. I just put a GoPro mount on right there and then drive around with the GoPro so you can kind of see what the ATK sees. And I think it might just look cool. And then for this, I put it right there or something like that. And that's why I'm kind of, I'm not glad that the top popped off, but it's like a blessing in disguise. I do not recommend popping off your top because what I am about to do is risking my GoPro safety, so I think I'm good enough knowing how to control that. This does get out of control sometimes, especially in the presence of wind. If it's windy, it gets weird. So, we're gonna start with this, and then I'm gonna move my way to that. So thank you guys for sticking with me, and let's continue. Alright, so I hope you guys can see very well. If you can't, then I'll try to adjust it, but here we go. I have them paired, and here it goes. So, first thing you notice is that I am on gravelly roads, and it kind of just doesn't really work out that well. Yeah, so it also does make noises. That's what the ATK, you know, it's just making the drifting noise. Like, as you can see, this is it on max turn. Oh, and the drift figure came out. And yeah, so gravelly roads, what you automatically notice is that it doesn't really work that well because it's all shaky and the figure comes out and stuff. So yeah, and the drift is kind of weird. If you wanted to get it to turn the best, you should like not just hold the turn, but you should like click it. The top also pops off, but unlike the Cloudstrike drone, it is made to come back on. So, you know, a wiggly top isn't the best thing, especially since I'm putting the GoPro on the top. So, gravel roads, not that good. I think smooth sidewalks are probably the best, but yeah, just to show you, for drifting, the best way to get it to turn is to move forward and click it so it moves over. And the top's already coming off. It comes back on though, so now I'm gonna probably go over to the sidewalk and then we'll get to the montage. Now that it's on the sidewalk, it is a lot smoother at moving, so you know, that's always nice. Try not to get it to go into the gutter. Let's take it upon this nice curvy road. So yeah, there is a little bit of bumps. Nothing, as long as you don't go too fast, they don't really do anything. And yep, once you get into the grass, it doesn't really move, so yeah. It goes pretty far. Farther than advertised, at least. See, like, with the drone, it doesn't, you can't really get too far away from a drone because it's a $100 drone, but this is a nice little remote control cart. I will not lie. You guys know how it works. Let's get on to the montage. Woo! Alright, so I don't know how well you can see it, but the drone is right there. I have the figure attached. Let's just take off and I'll try to explain the controls as we go. So I press the takeoff button and look at it, he's flying! Oh my god! Look at that, everybody. So basically, controls are simple. So the left stick here, I'm trying to get, ooh, the drone. Drone, come back to me! Come back! Okay, yeah, see, that's the problem. It doesn't really come back that well. Which kind of makes me nervous. Is probably because of the wind. So whenever it's acting like this, you can press the takeoff or land button, which slows it down, and then you just bring it down. If it gets really bad, you can emergency stop. But I don't think that's necessary. Alright, maybe it is. Alright, so yeah, that's essentially how it works. I had the figure on it. He kind of just popped off right there. So as you can see, I hope you can see, so basically you have the up and down, left, right, which controls it going up and down, turning left, turning right, and then the right stick is for like leaning forward, backward, and leaning left and leaning right. So it is a little bit confusing. Here's the figure. So if you have flown a drone, you might understand this. I don't very well. There's also emergency stop, which I just used. Take off and land, that starts it, or stop, slows it down. And then there's a trimming button. You can enter trimming mode if one of the controls is acting funny. I've not had to do that. It's just really windy, and that kind of messes up with the controls. So yeah, so basically you can recalibrate it manually, or you could just reset it by doing that. Take off. So as you can see, it is moving forward. Let me see if I can get it to move back. I can get it to move down, but I'm holding the left back, the right stick, I'm holding it back. It is moving back a little bit, but the wind is stronger and it's being overtaken by the wind. So yeah, maybe if I did it backwards in the direction of the wind, it might work. You don't want to start it with it in your hands like this because there was one YouTuber I was watching. He's like the only YouTuber I've seen a review of this, and I've searched for countless to just see if anyone knows any tips to drive, and he started it in his hand. Well, if you read the instructions, it says do not take off while holding. So, you know, don't mean to call you out there, but if he's watching this, which I don't know how he would be, he could be, but you know, he did say read the instructions a little bit more. So that's the main thing. Now I'm gonna put the GoPro on it, and hopefully nothing bad will happen. Here we go. Let's hope this works. It won't even lift. All right, well, the GoPro is too heavy because, well, it's kind of just, here, I'll try to show you. The GoPro doesn't work. All right, well, it turned off because it stopped moving. So the GoPro, if you want to get this thing working with the GoPro, doesn't really do that well. See, look. So it'll spin and that's it. It turns off. So that is somewhat disappointing. But, you know. See. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. That's just the way it is, though. I don't know if there'll be a way for me to fix that issue or what, but yeah. For now, it's still awesome. It's just not GoPro proof. So, yeah, it's not as windy now, so it kind of does move around a little bit better, a little bit nicer. So, yeah, I guess that's just that. It's unfortunate, but still a nice little drone. All right, never mind. I guess there is still some wind here, so I'll try to make it go back. And it kind of goes back. Okay, yep, see, here it goes. It's going backward, it's just also moving to the right. So, yeah, that's basically it, guys. So, now I'm gonna do my overall thoughts, and yeah. So, we're gonna start with the ATK, which stands for All-Terrain Car Remote Control Vehicle. It is $40 base price. I've not seen it go down at all. I assume it's because a lot of people are buying it. So the drift figure, I'd say, is like, well, figures normally are worth like $10 at least. So you're really paying $30 for a cart remote control, and I'd say it is worth it. Yes, both of these things are the most fun I've ever had with these figures ever. You know, the controls, they're nice and simple. I think a young kid could get it really easily. For the most part, the cart doesn't really get super damaged unless, you know, something is thrown at it. Not saying that's what happened to mine. Funny joke. I like the drift figure. It's a good figure. I like the remote controls, and it works with the GoPro, and it's really good. So, yeah. It's nice. I recommend it if you like remote control, playing features. It's really fun. But this one is probably my #1 spot for the most fun, I don't know, does that make sense? The most fun Jazwares thing. It flies, it's cool, it's awesome. My top of the thing did come off, so you need to be careful with that. There is a lot of instructions. I'd say this is really for just like anyone. This is like all ages. This is more like for people who are advanced in steering stuff and can understand instructions easily, because this really is something that's complicated. This thing is really at risk of, you know, stuff. But other than that, it's good. The figure, it's just a repaint Skull Trooper, but in the game, the figure Skull Trooper is rare, so yeah, it kind of makes sense. So, you know, this base price, $100. I've already seen it go down to $80. I'd say, as long as you can be cautious with this thing and be wary that this thing pops off and, you know, it's not really able to come on really easily, it is good. I do like it. Even though it might not be wind resistant, that's probably the two main flaws. This thing comes off and there's no wind resistance, I'd say. Other than that, it's great. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I don't know how much more of these Jazwares Fortnite reviews I'll be doing because they don't get that many views. I will be doing something with these figures in the future that I haven't really seen anyone do before. So, you know, thank you guys so much for watching. Do all that good stuff. It is greatly appreciated. More videos coming in the future. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye!